It's gonna be really hard for me not to laugh.
Are you ready?
I really got to pull it in. Yeah,
ready. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Strength Students podcast. I am your host, Steve Cardy,
and I am your other co-host, Nicholas Robert Scopola
Jackson Heights.
Oh, Randy Watson.
What up, guys? We have a great show for you today. A little different.
We're sitting.
Our guests are going to be you. We have some submissions, some listener submissions, some questions that we're going to be answering today. It's the Strength Students Unplugged via email.
Well, we're plugged in, but we're sitting.
Yeah, our mics are plugged in. So let's just start off with some announcements. We are actually sponsoring, we are one of the sponsors of the Hellbent Barbell meet going on at Hellbent Barbell, which we've had Mike Skieb on as a guest. It is called I Was Hellbound at Hellbent. It'll be held Sunday, September 10th at Hellbent Barbell in Stratford, Connecticut. Excuse me.
Stop. White Plains, Connecticut.
White Plains, Connecticut. Like I said, we are sponsoring it.
One of the sponsors.
show is one of the sponsors.
We are giving away.
Yeah, we have a giveaway. We got a dope bag with our logo on it.
So this is what we're giving away. We have
Under Armour bag.
Yes, Under Armour gym bag with our logo on it. Then you have lifting chalk. Also, 2 little bottles of ammonia caps and gangster wraps from Slingshot.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah,
nice.
Black gangster wraps.
Can I win this bag? Or
I mean, Skiba said we should basically just take it because. You know.
Other news: Nick is moving to Hartford.
What?
Oh,
no one told me.
Fucking finally, man. About fucking time.
Time to take the leap of faith, baby.
So you know what that means? We'll be spending more time together, which means we'll have more time to put out some great content that we know you guys love so much. So
and fuck.
Yeah. You and I, or us and the fans, or I don't know where you're going with that.
You and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is over.
No, it's just beginning, actually.
Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. Our YouTube channel's been, we've been buzzing that thing up a little more. Yeah, we got some. We just put some stuff with Matt Mills up there doing the Atlas Stones. Doing the yoke. He's kind of teach some stuff in there. So go check that out. Go like it. Go comment. Go share it to your grandma's page. Whatever you want to do. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram. All that stuff is at Strength Students Podcast. So make sure you guys check that out. And then obliviously, go to iTunes, Stitcher. Give us a 5-star review. We would really appreciate that.
Do you mean
Thank
obviously?
you so much. Yeah, but so I have a friend who says obliviously.
That's
actually,
how
you say that.
Makes sense.
All right, so our first segment we're going to do today is a new segment we're going to be bringing to you every week on the podcast. It is going to be about some of our research, some of our newest stories that we find in strength and conditioning world, in the lifting world, and we're going to be bringing it to you, and we're going to be calling it Send NEWSDZ. Like send nudes, except send NEWSDZ, because what we're gonna
NEWSDZ.
What
Like
we're gonna start doing is having you guys, send us some news articles that you guys pick up through the week and send to us. So we're gonna call it send us your NEWSDZ. Send NEWSDZ, like send nudes. Okay.
We will take actual nude photos though, depending on who you are.
We'll take that.
Guy or girl?
Guys only. Now, guys only. I don't want to see any of that shit.
That's sexist.
Whatever. So, Nick, what are some of your news for this week?
It's actually an article I shared this morning on my personal Facebook page.
Hell yeah.
Crazy.
What was that article about?
The article was about... Hold on a second. First of all, I don't think he wrote it, but he is the cover boy, Matt Mills. From our latest episode.
From the Strength Students Podcast, episode number 52?
Yeah,
no way.
That guy. It's from Elite FTS.
Vin Diesel himself.
Oh, boy. The title is Bigger is Not Always Stronger. Fallacies of muscle hypertrophy and for strength athletes.
Okay.
So basically, it's a long one, and it's
What did you take away from it? First of all, did you say where did you get it from?
It was on Facebook, honestly. I saw Elite FTS, and I saw...
like who... Okay, so Elite FTS.
I don't know. Honestly, man, I keep looking, and I can't. I don't even know. It's driving me... Oh, wait. Mark Clevenger.
Okay.
I don't know who he is.
Okay.
Anyways. Mark was
Elite FTS reposted on Facebook or something?
It was Elite FTS, and it was a Facebook ad, I think, and I just clicked on it. Dude, it was like 5 when I woke up this morning, and I just shared it. So.
Well, either way, we're going to share it. So.
Yeah. I saw Matt Mills. I saw the hypertrophy thing. I read a paragraph, and I said, this is cool, and I shared it.
Is this real life?
So, I was just talking about, like, hypertrophy. This is like it's become a dirty word.
Hypertrophy, you mean bodybuilding only?
Yeah, it's for fucking losers. So they're just basically they break it down to is hypertrophy necessary for strength athletes? And they break it down into 2 different types of hypertrophy. I won't get too long into this, but there's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and myofibrillar hypertrophy.
Myofibrillar, yeah.
Yeah. So sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is growth of the structures supporting and surrounding contractile elements of the muscle fibers, such as sarcoplasmic reticulum, sarcoplasm. I won't get into the science shit. That hypertrophy is a part of like bodybuilding style training. Then there's myofibrillar. I really am dumb. I don't know how I got through college.
You're literally just reading it word for word off your phone.
Is that right? I want to get it right, girl.
The article says that lifting is bad.
Football is from the devil. Growth of contractile components of muscle fibers type of hypertrophy is a result of strength, speed training, kind of like lifting, powerlifting. Mm-hmm. They're talking basically it's like bodybuilding style training versus strength and speed training, like powerlifting, things like that, and what is more beneficial for the strength athlete. Mm-hmm. So it just goes into basically everything and saying like, regular hypertrophy, like just doing endless sets of bodybuilding stuff has its place, but when that type of training has been instilled, that type of muscle built, you will get stronger, but you will not maximize your strength.
Okay.
Like you will make the size of the muscles bigger, and I could speak to this. The only reason why I was like, what helped me understood it was personal experience. I've been able having bigger muscles and looking bigger than you are is one thing, and I've seen guys that could bench like 225 or 15, and they go to 245 and they get 6, and you're like, damn. So you're just good at one part reps, and then the other part is going heavier and doing speed and strength work.
Or also, does this have to do with this? Like the dudes who look gigantically huge, not that strong, or conversely, maybe the dudes or person who, oh damn, they're kind of tiny, but they're strong as shit.
That's basically what this article is like summing up.
That old conundrum.
Yeah, so it's basically that. And it was saying, like, if you're in a weight class, but, like, making basically they're saying hypertrophy couldn't hurt. This is my take. Forget about all the science and all that shit. This is my personal take. Hypertrophy is not going to kill you. You'll be all right. Nothing wrong with some pump work. Bigger muscle has the potential to be a stronger muscle. But, keep the skill stuff in there. They're saying, basically, if you, like, block periodization, if you're doing block periodization, you're focusing on a certain attribute at a certain time, but when you're focusing on that, you lose the other attribute you just tried to build. So that's like an argument, and they make that argument in this article, an argument for the West Side system, for a conjugate method, for a max effort and a dynamic. So you're working on maximal strength, speed, and you have all your hypertrophy work in the middle. They do hundreds of reps of accessory work, hundreds till failure.
Damn.
That's bodybuilding. And they're some of the biggest, strongest motherfuckers on the planet. So,
truth.
There you go. But if you just want to look good in a t-shirt, hey, maybe you don't need to go too heavy. Maybe you don't want to. That's cool.
Yeah, perhaps.
But that was my nudes today.
Okay. Your news. Yeah, we might have changed that name.
Yeah.
Whatever, we'll figure it out.
Nudes.
So my send news was actually an article, which is something that we've talked about, and fans, I'm pretty passionate about. Actually has to do with supplements. And
Steve, you're about to get so fired up.
A specific supplement, vitamins B12 and B6, that actually a study was just dropped by the Journal of Clinical Oncology. Perhaps you've heard of them. The study was done and just released on the Journal of Clinical Oncology site, which is, we will post the link for that so you can check it out. But the article I was reading about it was on the Atlantic, I believe. Yeah, the Atlantic, which, we'll post that link as well so you guys could check out the article. But the article was essentially about, linking high doses of vitamin B6 and B12.
I have a question. Was it high dosages?
Vitamin B6 and B12 supplements, linking that to cancer in men, right? We'll get to that a little more. Just men, right? For some reason, not women, but higher risk of cancer in men,
fucking
right?
Sexist
so we've
study.
talked about this, man. We talked about this before. It was a good article. Who's there?
We have a live call.
Live caller.
No, we're at CrossFit Hartford. The phone just rings once in a while.
So essentially the article is talking about how, in Norway in like 98, right? They followed 6,800 people or something like that. There was a group that took B12 and a group that took a placebo. So nothing, right? And essentially, they just watched that group over like the course of years. I don't know how long, but over the course of years, and they watched them like kind of die and contract diseases and things like that. And their concern was the group that took the B12, right? They were like, "Oh shit, this group of B12 takers, all this shit is happening to them." So later on, branching off of that study, they've done more studies on dudes who don't smoke, dudes who do smoke, and the numbers are insane. Right, like the dudes who don't take B12 and B6 versus the dudes who did take B12 and B6, the cancer was like doubled or something like that. And then you're like, well, how do they smoke? They did a group of smokers. And in smokers, it's actually even more. It's like in smokers, it was like quadrupled, right? So the more B12 they took, it was like quadrupled.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason behind that.
And so that's what they talked about. And so like at the end of the article, you guys can read it, but the end of the article, it was basically talking about how essentially the accumulation of why the fuck is this happening? Why did they get these results? It's exactly what we talked about before, right? We talked about on the show. The reason being that where these people are getting these supplements and the high dosages that these supplements are giving to people is where the issue is, right? So you go to like the GNCs and the Whole Foods and, these suppliers who are supplying the B6 and the B12, the dosage of B12 and B6 in their capsules is like it's like an insane amount over
like
the recommendation, right?
5,000 micrograms.
It's like 20 times the amount of like the daily, hey, this is like how much B12 and B6 you should be intaking. These people were intaking like 20 times that amount. And so the point being is what we talked about before. Don't just go and rifle supplements down your mouth because Dr. Oz said they're good, right? Go see a naturopath, see where your level's at, see how much you should take and what a safe level is, and then go from there. Don't just go to your local GNC or Whole Foods, talk to the 18-year-old kid at the desk, no offense, and start.
I'm 29 now.
Start shoveling supplements down your throat, okay?
Yeah, dude.
But all in all, that was kind of my takeaway from the article. You guys could check it out. I thought it was a good one. Pretty big news. Journal of Oncology.
Do you know how I wish we had here right now? Dr. Rhonda Patrick. To go through that study with us.
Yeah, she would go through that. Maybe we should send it to her. We should send her our news. Send her Dr. Rhonda some nudes.
She's married. I think she has a child. We can't send her nudes.
Oh, she can't have news, man?
Nudes.
All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back,
we're tired.
We're going to have our guest, which is you, the Strength Students fans. We're going to be doing some listener feedback, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Should be a good one. We're going to answer some questions. Be right back. Want more of the Strength Students podcast? Go check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, make sure you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and on Stitcher. Stitcher, I just met her. All right, welcome back. Second half here, Strength Students podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Cardy.
I am the other guy, Nick Scopoletti.
And our guest today is you, Strength Students listeners.
You?
We're going to the emails, baby. We got emails, we got questions, and we're going to answer them today.
Yes.
So just strength questions. We had some listeners pop into our emails here, some strength questions.
Slide in our DMs,
and we're gonna do the best we can to answer your questions. So let's start with email here from Tony. I believe that is the female version of Tony.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Full name Anthony. So Tony writes, my aunt asked, true or false, should women do a full chest day like men? Then she says, my Nana said, how do you know what kind of program thing is right for you? How many days? For a beginner? Whole body? Do I break it up?
I'd like to take this first.
Take this one, bro.
Number one, Tony, that's awesome. You're hanging out with your aunt and your Nana at the same time. And talking about fitness.
Family person. We like that here.
Number two.
Just talking to Nana and your auntie about fitness in the kitchen. Love it.
So chest day. Do you need to do a chest day?
What do you think, man?
I always give this answer usually is like, what's your goal? As a woman, do you want to have like a super muscular chest, or like your boobs don't disappear, you know? But
yeah,
like,
if that's the route you're going here, Tony.
Yeah, if we're thinking like, will I make my actual breasts bigger? No, because breasts are simply deposits of fat.
Let me. So here's the thing. I think where a lot of the confusion and mix-up is this, and I think this is a theory of mine.
You're an expert in this field.
It's a theory of mine, right? With breasts and muscular females, I think the disconnect is women see these like quote unquote bodybuilders who are super muscular women who maybe their breasts don't look like their breasts anymore. But you also got to take into account that those bodybuilders are probably taking testosterone.
Bodybuilders, yes. Figure chicks, they take some form of
bodybuilder, not figure. I'm saying more like the bodybuilder types, right? Which then in turns kind of like beep, boop, beep, boop, calculation in my head, like, oh, lifting weights will make me lose my boobs, right? So I think that's where the big mix-up is there. But go ahead.
Yeah. So no, if you want to lift every day, then a body part split is the only thing you can do. And if you want to have a chest day, go ahead. If you want to focus on your back, I've spoken to women who one woman I work with at the gym. She's 40 years old, has 3 kids. I asked her when was the best. She teaches classes, group classes, all the time. Right?
Love it.
Great. She's in great shape. And I said, when were you in the best shape of your life? She goes, oh, I was actually lifting with this figure competitor, and we had like a back day, back and by, chest try, classic day. And she said she was in the best shape of her life then, like aesthetically.
Damn.
And I know for a fact she hasn't taken anything, or she never competed. She's just an in-shape girl, or in-shape woman, I should say, who now teaches like V-bar and HIIT classes and things like that. So, yeah, if you want to do chest day, cool, absolutely. Yeah, but if it's actual breast size you're looking for, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Well, and it's not. Listen, you're not going to lose your boobs, right? And you're also. What you're doing, you're probably not going to get a massive chest either. So, yes, train your chest, man. Do a full chest day. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to lose anything. You know what's going to happen? You're probably going to get stronger. And you're going to have better shoulder health and better back health because all that shit's in the same fucking area. So, yes, chest day. And then Nana, to answer her question.
Nana!
For a beginner, what kind of program thing is right for you? How many days? She says specifically for a beginner. Whole body, do I break it up? All right, so great question. As far as what program thing is right for you. For a beginner, I'd say GPP, man. Just start with things like, start with your just moving around. Get some squats going, deadlifts, nothing crazy yet. Maybe don't get under a barbell yet. I would say that's the only thing. No. Definitely squatting, deadlifting, moving in different planes, right? So do some rotational movements, do some side-to-side movements, right? Maybe not a barbell yet, though. Work up to that, Nana. Work up to the barbell.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you there. I would think, I'm just thinking about like when I first started, it was straight up bodybuilding lifestyle. Like that's all there was. So yeah, just getting your muscles ready to do the work. I think full body, you can't go wrong. If later on you're like, I want to, make some things bigger and things like that, then yeah, go to a body part split. But
yeah, right.
Oh,
hello.
This is my date.
Speaking of women and lifting.
Turn the camera around.
Wow.
But yeah, I think I would say I always opt for, do whatever the hell you want when you first start. You're going to grow, which is awesome. And you're going to pretty much anything. You can do anything. And it's kind of, those are the best times. It's always going to work. You don't worry too much. Just get in there and do some stuff. But I think you can't go wrong with covering full body, push, pull, vertical and horizontal, squat, hip hinge, carry some stuff, push some stuff.
Yeah, word.
Sprint, run.
Awesome. So there you go, Nana. Next question is from Jordan R. Jordan R. writes, what are the 3 best exercises to do that builds shoulder strength and size?
Strength and size.
Wow, strength and mass, Jordan R.
I have a good one for this.
Go ahead.
So, again, I keep going off, I go off personal experience because you can't tell me I'm wrong. This is just personal experience. This is kind of what I've done.
I mean, that's all we all have, dude.
Money's not like a real thing.
Or gravity.
But as far as shoulder size and strength, the beauty about that is like it's so basic. You could do the most. I'll tell you. So my chest is kind of overpowering, right? I've always had be able to I could always contract that more. I've never really thought about shoulders and triceps, things like that. Mm-hmm. My delts were always something I had to work on. When my delts got the biggest, I was lifting with a bodybuilder like Blythe in college. And this routine was from a professional bodybuilder. And we just were like, we're just going to try this. It was literally volume. You started with 4 sets of 15 side raises. You started with side raises. Then you go into heavy dumbbell presses, 12, 10, 8, 6 reps, like Arnold style. Then back to side raises, heavier, but you're doing them not on a cable like you were in the beginning. You're doing single arm cable. Then you just did side laterals with dumbbells, and you did rear laterals. And that was it. And that was probably the biggest my shoulders have ever been. So that's, I think, simple. But, one thing I didn't do back then that I probably should have was, maybe some, as far as strength, maybe some push presses, maybe some standing military presses, like for, heavy stuff.
Overhead presses can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with overhead presses, push presses, things like that. But as far as strength, getting stronger and size, there's nothing wrong. Simple hypertrophy program will take care of that. That was me personally, what I think for shoulders.
The other thing I would say too is just because the lats play such a big role in the stabilization of your shoulders as well, and we've talked about this with bench. Hammer your lats, man. Lat pull downs, landmine rows, and a big one, rope pulls.
Yeah.
Attach a rope to a sled or kettlebells or something, heavy plates, and just hand over hand pulling them in, man.
Yeah, that's one thing.
You want to be able to press overhead and or even press horizontally. If you want to build your shoulders and stuff like that, yes, but you want to even take it up a notch. Yeah. You're talking strength. You want to have even even more overhead press or even stronger overhead press. Get those lats nice and stable.
And plus,
Drew Accomando, that's our guest, Drew Accomando. That was one thing he preached. We talked about dude, why were you able to just come into CrossFit and just snatch 205 without ever snatching before? He's like, dude, played baseball in college. We did a lot of rotator cuff stability, a lot of scapular stability stuff. Yeah.
He didn't do much of that, and he said his overhead press. Yeah, he didn't do much of that till he got out.
Oh yeah,
but he had the shoulder, the stable shoulder, to rip that because he had such strong lats,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
nuts. Okay, next question from Nate P. Nate P says, "Hey Steve, you are the man. Love you, bro. Love you too, Nate. What are some ways to get over a plateau when it comes to bench press, squatting, deadlifts, etc.? How do you increase your weight without messing up form and pulling muscles or getting injured, I'm assuming?"
So he's saying plateaus and bench, do you need to squat or deadlift more to up your bench? Is that
exactly. So, you're bench, squat, and deadlifting, you're at a plateau, right? None of those are really jumping. None of those are getting stronger. What do you do?
I got 2 examples for that. Number 1, easy way is usually the answer is always pretty much volume. If you get in a bunch of dumbbell presses, this is a lot of thing that powerlifters will do. 4 sets of 20 on flat dumbbell presses, then they go bench press. And this I've experimented with that as well. My bench press went up in 2 weeks. I broke through plateaus just from doing more volume or adding in a speed day, like a West Side Barbell type deal. Adding in a speed day.
Yeah,
those are 2 things. Now, as far as the squat and deadlift, do you need to squat and deadlift more to get your bench up? There's a couple instances where Cal Dietz has done this with an athlete. He did his triphasic system is eccentric work, then isometric work, and then back to just normal lifting. So he did a cycle with a guy where they do heavy eccentrics, 80 to 88% of squats, not really deadlifts, but squats and heavy things like that, then isometrics. And when the guy went back and tested his bench press after not benching, just doing heavy eccentrics and loading his central nervous system and doing isometrics, his bench went up 35 pounds.
Damn.
So there's that.
That works.
Yeah. There's that. I think that definitely has a place. But if you're just worried about your bench, I think, of course, being a stronger a deadlifter and squatter, being stronger overall is going to help. We break up bodies into these segments, and it's fine for bodybuilding, and it makes sense. But at the end of the day, like, it is one unit. So if you biggest thing too for bench pressing, besides doing dumbbell presses, adding volume to that, again, I'm gonna go back to your lats.
That's what I was gonna say with the bench press. I was just gonna say. Now I'll say this for all of these, if you're at a plateau and you're at this point where, like Nate said at the end here, how do you increase your weights without messing up form and pulling muscles? I assume by that he means without continuing to just try to add weight and fuck up your technique and going maximal effort. Take the barbell away, take the full bench press away, take squatting away, take deadlifting away, stay away from that for a little bit. Start varying, right? Not only take those movements away, take some volume away, okay? Bump your intensity down, which means bump your weights down and increase your volume a little bit. And do single leg shit. And with bench press, do single arm work. Do some dumbbell incline benching, dumbbell flat benching. But also with bench, lat work and tricep work. Hit that. Lat work, tricep work. Get those things going. Guarantee your bench will go up. With squats, just take away the barbell. Stop doing bilateral squats. Start doing single leg squats.
Oh, he's asking how to increase those lifts as well? Plateaus?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just bench.
Sorry, I got it.
All right.
Squats.
Just needed clarification.
Same deal with the squats, man. Take the barbell away, except do things like single leg squats. Do rear foot elevated squats. Maybe go into some different planes. Same thing with the deadlift. Take the bar away. Stop doing bilateral deadlifts. Start doing some, I would say with this one, not only started doing some single leg deadlift work, but also do some like glute work, man, like glute bridges, weighted glute bridges, like, incline glute bridges, what have you. Just start doing accessory work like that. But, as far as what you're doing, take away some of that maximum intensity, right? So cut your weight down, volume up, right? So instead of doing sets of 3 and 5, start doing sets of like 10s and 12s and 15s, get your volume up with lighter weights, right? Using that sub-max weight, not going to beat up your body as much while also saving your technique, and I can pretty much guarantee you your shit's going to go up. So that's my answer to you, Nate. My camera keeps fucking going out here.
Dude, I thought you fixed it. What the fuck, Steve?
No, it's the temperature thing again.
You're fired, man.
All right, next question comes from Nicholas B. Nick B. Nick B's question is, so Nick B asks us, should all starting strength athletes start with a hypertrophy-focused program to develop a general strength base, or start with a more specialized program for Olympic, powerlifting, etc.?
That's kind of like the article we just talked about.
Kind of, but also like, okay, so if you're someone who's like, oh, I want to start Olympic lifting, or I'm going to start powerlifting, or I'm going to start, whatever. All right, so should I start doing like full snatches right away, full clean and jerks right away? Should I start doing full deadlifts right away? Or should you do a more generalized program, building up your size, building up your muscle strength, GPP, things like that, and then eventually go into that? What do you think? Here, let me start actually.
Yeah, you start.
So this is what I think. So Nick B, what I think everyone, especially someone new to these sports, start with some GPP. Start with general stuff, man. I'm talking like a month or two cycle. Don't even introduce any sort of heavy snatch or clean and jerk or deadlift or squat, whatever it is your sport. Don't even introduce that stuff yet. Just start with the basics, man. Using kettlebells, using dumbbells, general GPP stuff, man. Do some jumps, do some crawling, do just general GPP stuff. Also, start with hypertrophy stuff, high volume stuff, low weights, get your muscles big and thick and strong. That way in the coming months, they're able to withstand a lot of the beating that they're going to take. That being said, during this GPP and hypertrophy-based phase, yes, I said take out, like, don't be doing snatches and clean and jerks just yet, but introduce maybe a PVC pipe or a barbell and start really hammering away technique of these movements. Like, technique the shit out of it. Even if it is powerlifting and it's just bench, squat, deadlift. A lot of techniques. Take those first couple months not only to build your general physical preparedness. Physical preparedness.
You got to build that shit too.
General physical preparedness. Not only build that up, building your hypertrophy up too, but take that time to hammer away your technique. Take 2 months to just snatch with the empty bar, or just positional snatches with the empty bar.
That's something I wish I
did
more.
Or positional cleans, or positional positional, just chill positional stuff with the bar, or even a PVC pipe or a broom. Dude, I'm telling you, get the motor patterns down, get the nervous system down with all those movements, hammer your technique. There's your answer, Nick B.
There it is.
Our next question comes from Greg M. Greg writes, a few questions. Oh, Jesus Christ, Greg, how much time do you think we got here? A few questions. Just kidding. We would love to answer all your questions.
Fuck you, Greg.
Oh, my God, we got another quick. Questions are pouring in here. How can you balance out strength training with diet? Gain strength without bulking. Is that possible? So that's his first question. Next question, what's the best rep scheme for gaining strength versus mass? That's one we can answer for you, Greg. And is there a specific time during the day that is better for strength training? Is it early in the day to keep your motor running? Okay, so 3 pretty good questions. First one, balancing out strength with diet. Gaining strength without bulking. So essentially, I'm assuming Greg means, wanting to up the weights, wanting to get stronger without having to eat a surplus of calories and gain weight. Is that possible, Mr. Scopoletti?
I wish John Durrett was here to direct this too. But is it possible to gain strength without gaining weight or without eating too much? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is he?
So essentially, like, how do you continue to advance your strength gains without having to eat as much and therefore getting bigger?
I think that could come down to I keep going back to this hypertrophy article, kind of. Like, you can eat a certain way. Like, if you don't want to, if you're a weight class athlete, and they brought that up in this article, I'm going to go back to it because that's literally what they brought up. It's exactly what he's asking. What they brought up was, like, if you're a weight class athlete, do you need to have bigger muscles, therefore gain more muscle, or can you just focus on your strength? And yeah, I think you can just do a strength template type program. Like you will get some hypertrophy, but it's not going to be wild, and you're not going to gain a ton of weight. Like, yeah,
and I think from the diet perspective is, with that, make sure, the biggest thing I tell people is make sure that you're keeping your carbohydrate intake, your main carbohydrate intake, keep that around your workouts, right? Yeah. So whether it be the meal before or the meal after. Outside of that, keep it to protein, vegetables, things like that.
Yeah, also like your calories too. Like, if you know what you burn at rest, or you have an idea, and you know what exercise is, like, if you want to stay at a maintenance, then don't go over your maintenance, and you won't. I have trouble with the calories a calorie, calories in, calories out. But I mean, there's a lot of studies and science that prove it. So if you really don't want to gain weight, then watch that shit.
Yeah.
Stay at a maintenance. Yeah. Don't go into a surplus, and you won't gain weight.
True. Yeah, keep the calories at a, figure out a basic, like a burn rate for yourself, what is it, basal metabolic rate, your BMR, whatever. You'll figure that out. Figure out where you're at, what you're burning at rest and how many calories you're expending per day. No one can really be too spot on 100% with that, but just find out a general thing. But for the most part, as far as what types of food you're eating, carbs around your workout, that way you're replenishing and your muscles are, going in the right direction. But outside of that, to kind of keep it more lean, just make sure you're keeping your carbs around your workout and eating vegetables, fat, and protein around that. Do your shit go out again?
Yeah.
Same.
Dude, okay. We need better cameras.
Okay, next question comes from Yosef K. Oh, wait, no, fuck, we didn't answer Greg's other questions. 2 more. Yeah, 2 more. Next question from Greg was, what's the best rep scheme for gaining strength versus mass?
Anything below 5.
Yeah. So it's strength, keep it like 3 to 5. Mass is like hypertrophy. You're getting like, people say 8 to 10. I would say like anything above 10.
6 to 15.
10 to 20. Yeah.
Say, like,
yeah. I would say like 10 to 20.
Below 5, man.
5 and below. Strength versus mass.
5 reps is cardio.
Shit. Oh, yeah. And then Greg's last question, is there a specific time during the day that's better for strength training? Is it early in the day to keep your motor running? I don't know too much about this one. Go ahead.
So there was a study that just came out a couple months ago, and it was shared with, or by, future guest, hopefully, Allie Gilbert, the hormone lady.
Get her on.
Oh, she's coming on. So it basically said, like, you know, and I remember they used to make this argument to the football players in college. They used to say, your testosterone's highest in the morning, so it's best to lift then. And it's like, yeah, but I'm also fucking really tired.
True.
So basically this study said that lifting in general, doesn't matter what time of day, is going to give you an increase in testosterone at that moment. But if you want to increase your overall testosterone, nighttime is best. So there you go. That's science. Fuck you.
So from the science standpoint there, but also if you're asking from like what's best for you, just see how you feel. You know, I personally hate training in the morning.
I can't.
I'm pretty good in the afternoon, and I'm good at night, right? So either afternoon or night is good for me. I don't like training in the morning. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm awake. I don't feel like I'm ready to go. So just find what's good for you. But from a scientific standpoint, you nailed it. Good job.
Right, yeah.
Next question. Two-part question here. Another two-parter from Yosef K.
Did we go to the third one?
Yeah, that was the third one. We answered all three.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Until what age can you realistically continue to build strength before your body hits a plateau and begins to weaken? Begins to weaken, and your strength starts to diminish. Okay, so that's question one.
I think it comes back to hormones.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's...
Well, I'm going to start by saying this. I don't think that there is one age. Like, I don't think there's an age. No. There might be a range.
It's like, you're 30.
Yeah. You're dead. It's a tough one to answer, man.
After, I think it's every... this is, you know, I'm quoting in text here. I don't know if Allie's mentioned this. I think it's after the age of 30 or 35. Like, every year after that, your testosterone goes down like a little bit of percentage.
Oh, good.
After the age of like 30 or 35. So that's why you got to get on hormone replacement therapy.
Yay, hormone replacement therapy.
I'm doing that.
And then second question from Yosef. I hope that answered for you. I don't know. How much rest should you give your body between training sessions, especially older athletes, to maximize effectiveness? What signs should you look out for from your body telling you that you need to rest and that more work will be counterproductive?
As far as days, I mean, I think it depends on your split. If you're doing a body part split, like a bodybuilder, you could do something every day because you're hitting a different muscle and you're hitting one muscle at a time. Chest day, back day, arm day, whatever. If you're doing full body lifts, you're doing Olympic lifts, you're doing squats, you're doing, you know, upper bodies at like a CrossFit style or like a strength and conditioning style. I think honestly, like
as you get older, I would say give a week in between the like heavy snatching, give that a week. Yeah. Heavy clean and jerking, give that a week. Deadlifting, definitely give. That's been like proven. Yeah, you should need to give that a week.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, like if you're going to do a full body thing, it depends on the intensity too. Like if you do a full body thing in every day, but it's not like heavy at all, then like don't really worry about it. But I know, I feel like our listeners are strength and conditioning, so they're talking about like, they're not like, I'm going to go in and do cardio and abs. Like they're like, all right, so if I squat and deadlift on this day, when should, you know, like that's I think where this question's going and what he's talking about.
Truth.
So yeah, like a solid, like once you, I'm going to quote Louis Simmons here. I'm so excited right now. If you go over 90%, more than 3 weeks in a row, you start to go backwards.
Great quote.
So this is a guy, that's why the conjugate system changes their lifts every week. If you're doing the same lift above 90% for the same 3 weeks in a row, you will start to go backwards. Heard that. Yeah, switch it up, vary it up. And then what was the second part of that?
Second part of that was what signs should you listen to from your body?
One thing you could do that's actually really...
Jay Layden? Grip test?
Grip test. You could talk about that.
Yeah, our hashtag former guest, hashtag hopefully future guest, Jay Layden at CrossFit Milford I know he does like a grip test. So if their athletes come in and we'll get you more information on this one, but some sort of grip test they do. I don't know if it's on a machine. Do you know what they use with it, like a machine or something like that?
Dynamometer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Squeeze that shit.
Essentially, they test their grip And when their athletes come in, if their grip test is low, that kind of means they're shot and their central nervous system is fried. So on that day, he'll be like, hey, you need to take a rest. So that's actually one test you could do.
And if you're lucky enough to have a coach, he's I've heard, we've spoken to plenty of his athletes and him. And I can remember a story from Chris Kling that was basically like he come up to me, he goes, all right, man, you're done for the day. And he goes, I thought that felt good. Like, I felt pretty good. He goes, no. You're shot. So that's the benefit of having a coach. But one of the things I like, Pavel gave me this, not personally, I heard it.
He was just here.
Pavel gave me herpes. And so he said, know your resting heart rate. Okay. Whatever that is, find it on like a day where you're relaxed. That means you just woke up, you haven't moved. You didn't sit up, you're waking up and you're literally putting your hand right by your neck and you're taking your pulse. Count, find out how many beats per minute it is. Okay? That's not a post-training, that's not any of that. That's just like on a really super relaxed day. Then as you get into a training cycle, test it every morning. And he said at any point if it is 10 beats higher than usual upon waking, then you're not training that day. At least you're not training intense.
Word.
And there's all those. There's heart rate variability is used a ton. In that, if you have some other stressors in your life, and Jay touched on this as well, and again, I could speak on this from personal experience. You think you're not stressed. I had something happen earlier this year, loss of a family member, and I was like, that Monday after it happened, I went into the gym. I was like, I need to lift. Guess what happened? Got hurt. Like almost immediately, and was very shaky, and I felt like I was going to pass out. But I was like, oh, I'm going to work out today. Little do I know, there's a lot more going on. You know what I'm saying? Things you wouldn't expect, like something I didn't expect. I'm 29 years old, been working out my whole life, and then I get dizzy working out. What the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So looking for things like that, other stressors in your life, maybe there's that fine line, and we talked about this with Brian Carroll, like being a pussy and there's a fine line between being a pussy and like finding your right optimal training and like toughing it out. There's times where you got to tough it out. I understand that. But
true.
I think the heart rate thing is so simple and easy. That's the easiest thing you could do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or if you wake up and you feel fucking terrible, then
I was gonna say, if you're literally, your body is like, yo, please don't do this thing, don't do that thing, because we all know what that feels like. Like we start running through our head, like, dude, if I lift this bar right now, I think I'm gonna get hurt. Don't do it then. Step back, take a break. I've done that,
and I've still lifted. It's like, no, I gotta get my lift in.
You feel like shit, don't do it.
Wow, this feels terrible, but you know what? I got 3 more sets, and then something happens.
All right, last question from Trevor. How much volume is too much volume? Great question, Trevor.
I don't know, man. Ask the Germans.
So how much volume is too much volume? I would answer that with this, because it's tough to give a certain amount of reps or weekly reps, because that could work for someone, right? It may not work for you, it might not work for someone else. Are you training a shit ton? Is there a lot of volume in your week and you're getting weaker and you feel like shit and you're not resting or recovering? That probably means there's too much volume, right? If you're training a ton and you don't feel like you are progressing or getting stronger and you just feel like crap and you feel weaker, that's probably too much volume.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think you got to know what you're good at, what you can handle. If I try to lift, or if I try to do a CrossFit WOD with Steve, or I try to do as many CrossFit WODs as he does per week,
too much volume.
I'm going to be fucked.
Yeah, too much volume.
I will be fucked. That's not something I do or that I have done. So, and I've done that. I've done like, I'm just going to, I'm going to try just like, I'm going to do high intensity almost like every other day. And 10 days later, it's over for me. And I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So I don't have that base. So what is volume to you? Like, what does that mean? But if you want to do like some tricep extensions and like leg curls and rows, I could do that all day. Flies, that's fine. Whatever your definition of volume is and what you can handle. I've seen guys do insane shit in a workout that if I did that workout with them, I'd be toast for a week, but they're good in 2 days. So I think volume is it's dependent on what's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
nutrition.
Right, exactly.
What's your training background? Paul comes to mind. Fenaroli again. Oh yeah. Come back. Or that freak of nature behind me. Big training volume. Bye, camera.
Mine's almost gone too. All right. Hope that answers your questions, fam. Strength Students fam. We're going to be doing some more user stuff, so make sure you keep those emails flying in, man. We'd love to answer all your questions. Don't forget to check us out. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Instagram. Go to iTunes. Leave a 5-star review. Go to Facebook, like our page, and we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us, fam. We are out.